It's the end of the year. Probably a lot closer, well, actually a little further away from when I originally wanted to do this, but that's okay. That's correct. So let's do this. Now, I'm going to state for the fucking record that there's only one record that I actually physically have. Because I find when I do these top lists, it's based on what I've listened to. Okay? A lot of guys will go out and buy these crazy amounts of records. And not that there's anything wrong with that. You can do whatever you guys want. That's your shtick. What I listen to that's come out this year, that's what I base my top 10 off of. Some of these I've literally just listened to over the last 2-3 weeks because it's ones that I've seen pop up on people's channels. And it's like, damn, I gotta listen to this. If people are highly talking about certain records, I have to listen to it. And then form my own opinion. There's some albums on here that you guys are gonna be like, wait, really? Okay, that's cool. Or maybe some people are like, boo, that sucks. And that's fine. Now, this year was really, really solid for metal releases. No doubt about it. But the top 3, I think you guys will be like, alright, based on what he's been talking about lately, yeah, that makes sense. So, I'm going to start off with number 10. Because the last video was 25 minutes, and I don't plan on being 25 minutes. Number 10, Mastodons, Hush and Grim. This was released on October 29th on Reprise Records. Now, I love Mastodon. I did a big sort of in-depth sort of discography chit-chat video a while ago. It still doesn't get a lot of love, but that's fine. I'm not here for the love. I'm here just to... Sometimes I'm here to get some people wound up. Other times I'm not. Like, in case you guys haven't figured it out, I kind of do videos differently than everyone else does, which is fine. Hush and Grim, I find this is literally almost like, I wouldn't say the perfect follow-up to, Emperor of Sand. But I feel like Emperor of Sand and Hush and Grim could almost be like a double album of sorts, but with Hush and Grim being a lot better in terms of like just what I'm hearing. And to be honest, I find Braun Daler on this record is far better than he ever has been on any other record. Just my personal opinion, okay? I think you'll get you literally could almost put every single one of these tracks on previous records. Like Pushing the Tides could have easily been on like Crack the Sky or Leviathan or something like that. But the one thing I will state about Mastodon is with each record, they get better. It's just that simple. They become tighter. Troy sounds amazing. Braun sounds amazing. Brent still, for me, the odd guy out vocally. So sometimes I have a hard time and I don't want to say taking him seriously, because nobody takes Brent serious. Jesus, have you watched an interview with them guys? I don't know, like, vocally, I don't know. I would be okay if it was just Troy and Braun, that's it. But that's my personal opinion, okay? Number 9. This is a lot lower. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, why? Well, it's Gojira, released April 30th on which is Gojira's Fortitude, released on Roadrunner Records. There's about 3 or 4 songs on here that stick real good with me. Into the Storm, Born for One Thing, Sphinx, which literally sounds like it could have easily been on fucking either From Mars to Sirius or The Way of All Flesh. And then, like, Amazonia was good. Other than that, I felt like it was, like, flat for a Gojira record. But it is my number 9. And maybe on another day, I could have easily flipped this in Mastodon. And I actually pulled a record off of here right before I even started filming this video. So that's that. Moving on to number 8. Evil, Hell Unleashed, April 30th, again with Gojira on Napalm Records. I love Evil, but not to the point where like I have to have every single record, otherwise my collection is completely useless. I love the first record. I love the second record. The other two are okay. It's a bit too samey for me, I guess. But this one here, even though I'm a big Matt Drake fan, I don't hate old Drake. You know what I mean? I don't hate him on this. I think if I listened to it a little bit longer and if about another 4 or 5 more times, I think I would probably favor him. Probably would be like, yeah, you know what? I don't mind this. It's killer thrash. I was totally shocked when Matt left the band because I find to me he was a stronger vocalist. But when I listen to Hell Unleashed in certain tracks, I almost think I'm hearing Matt based on some of the vocals and how they hold notes and so on. Just an amazing thrash record. Just fucking phenomenal right off the goddamn get-go. Yeah, if you don't have it, I suggest you get it. A lot of these records, too, are really hard for me to find here in my local, or at my locals. There's like 1 or 2 others that I can't even find anywhere, and I'm going to have to go online. The worst part about going online is that I have to go to either Amazon.ca, which actually one of my records that I got for Christmas is from there, and it came just fine. But I'll bring that up after. Maybe another video. Number 7. I saw this a lot at the start of the year because guys were fucking going batshit over it. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to listen to this goddamn thing. It is Queensryche vocalist Todd La Torre puts out a solo record called Rejoice in Suffering, February 5th on Rat Pack Records. And that is my number 7. Okay, so already I've got Todd La Torre over Mastodon and Gojira, so process that for a few minutes. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm going to listen to this, and I'm going to hate this record, and then I'm going to do a video about it, and then I'm going to shit on it, and then, because, you know, guys are going to be like, well, you're just being a jerk. I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I listened to it, and I'm like, and I just kept listening to it, and listening to it, and listening to it, and listening to it. Now, I literally did this on, little bits of loose leaf here. So I wasn't writing a book. For those, basically you guys who have it, if you know, you know. It's a great fucking record. It is a great fucking record. I think he plays drums on this. I think, maybe, as well as doing the main vocals. But that dude's got like a really good solid rasp. And then he's got some, Halford stuff in him too at sometimes, and I'm like, all right, okay, Todd La Torre going in my top 10. Fuck yeah, well done. I don't really like the whole Queensryche 2 band thing. Todd La Torre's been with Queensryche now for a little bit. Jeff Tate's a prima donna little bitch, and for those of you guys who watch my channel, you'll know that I've said that. But Todd La Torre's got a great record. I mean, and it still holds out pretty. I was listening to it like about a month ago. And still holds up very nicely. I'm not going to lie. Because, I mean, I don't need to go through these songs. If you guys had the record, you know. Jesus, you don't need my full other opinion on it. And I'm not going to rank these out of 5 either. I'm just a top list. Now, another record that I listened to about 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I had to find out what the hype was on this. Number 6, Between the Buried and Me, released on August 20th on Sumerian Records, Colors 2. I've listened to Between the Buried and Me a little bit this summer, spring and summer. And if you're looking for a prog metal record, holy shit, there's more talent in their left fucking nuts than there is in most other bands. From technicality, vocals, there's some good screams on there. Little small amounts of cleans, not much. I think there's even a bit of a lower, like a little bit of a guttural in there. But if you're looking for top-notch fucking, prog metal, these guys are really it, man. Like, they really have the talent to surpass a lot. Like, my favorite one of all that I've listened to out of a lot of their discography is Alaska, but that's me. Colors was a good record, I won't lie. It was a good record, but I personally might like Colors 2 more than I do Colors 1. I know so many people like, man, you gotta listen to Between the Buried and Me, you have to listen to Between the Buried and Me, and I've listened to Between the Buried and Me, and fuck, they're good. They're really fucking good. I get the hype now, fellas, I get the fucking hype. Number 5, a record that a band that I've heard of, through Banger TV's Blaine Smith. He's been championing these guys for a while now. Finnish death doom metal Hooded Menace releases The Tritonus Bell August 27th on Seasons of Mist. Fuck me sideways. If you're into death, like if you're into really fucking slow, there's some speed in there, don't worry, because there's another band I'm going to get to. Jesus Christ. I literally think there's only one other death doom record on this list. It's coming, and wow. Had I started listening to this back in August when I should have been, I probably should have bought the record. Because my good buddy Liam, the Death Doom Metalhead, has been just championing the fuck out of these guys since its release. This record is absolutely fucking killer. It's like taking a sledgehammer to the head. That's how good this shit is. Like, that's how heavy it is. There's some bits of speed in there too, but not a whole lot. I mean, not a whole lot. I can't even think of a favorite track because the whole thing just smokes. I mean, and as I say, it's in my top 5, just above Between the Buried and Me, which a lot of people will say that BT Bam probably had the record of the year, but not in my opinion. They're getting there though, like holy shit. So, and you got to remember, like, I'm just getting into that sort of 3 weeks ago. Hooded Menace, I just started again. That's about a week or 2 ago, and holy shit. It's fucking good. Now, a record, same thing. A band that I've started to appreciate over the last 2 years released a record called The Work on September 24th through Metal Blade Records, and that is Rivers of Nile. I just finished listening to it again for like the second or third time, and it absolutely fucking smokes. There's even a track on here called Maybe One Day. Holy shit. Like, is this like for real? Like, they actually have... It's really mellow, but it's got some clean vocals in there that too will just fucking tear your head off. It's very mellow and it's awesome. But yeah, there's more. The Work, or the self-titled track. Like, there's a bunch of tracks on here that absolutely just fucking smoke. And that comes in at number 4. Alright. Top 3. This is the one album I actually do own. And I struggled putting this higher because I wanted to put it higher, but I couldn't because the other 2 records above it are just as good or a little bit better. April 16th, 2021. Metal Blade Records. Cannibal Corpse, Violence Unimagined. With tracks like Murderous Rampage, Necrogenic Resurrection, Condemnation, Contagion, Surround, Kill, Devour, Ritual Annihilation, Follow the Blood, Bound and Burned, Slowly Sawn. The last two, Overture, and then Cerements of the Flayed, those last two are okay. Inhumane Harvest is by far the best track off that record. I don't fucking care. Just go listen to it. If you're into Cannibal at all, if you're into death metal at all, if you like that sort of thing, I'm telling you, it's probably by far one of the best records they put out. And if you guys watch my other video I did not that long ago, I think yesterday, I had it at number 2 in terms of the ranking of the Cannibal Corpse discography, and it's very well worth it because it fucking smokes. Number 2, I want to make this fucking clear. This here was the hardest. And I mean, this was the hardest. Because my number 1 has been out for a while. And I started listening to it just before this was released. And I haven't stopped listening to that. Same thing with my number 2. But my number 2 was only released about 3 months and 10 days ago. My number 2 is Carcass Torn Arteries, September 17th. This thing fucking smokes. I mean, I was supposed to get that for Christmas, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I can pick that up later on my own. Dance of Ixtab, Kelly's Meat Emporium, the Eleanor Rigby one. I can't even remember what it is now. Let's see. The Sightless Remorse. Yeah, the Sightless Swing Remorse or whatever. That whole record just mangles fucking senses. It's an absolute perfect follow-up to Surgical Steel, because Surgical Steel was almost a major throwback to, like, you know, Reek of Putrefaction, the Heartwork era. It was that just smoked. Heartwork is killer. Surgical Steel is amazing. Torn Arteries is also amazing. Bill Steer, in Bill Steer we trust. I mean, I don't think there's a better guitar player than him. You guys can sit there and waffle on the comments about that. I absolutely don't care. We're number 1. I'm still waiting for it to come in. I ordered it through Sunrise Records because I didn't actually know if they could order it or not. January 21st, Century Media Records. Asphyx Necroceros. Wow. Everything on it. Everything. The Knights Templar Stand. Molten Black Earth. The title track, which is a fucking unbelievably fat doom. Just doomier than shit. Botox Implosion is almost a perfect, like, Asphyx, like, death thrash kind of tune. The Nameless Elite. Perfect. And then you've got 3 years of famine, or I can't remember what it is, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't write most of this down. I literally just listed off, you know, the bands and release dates and record labels. So, the Asphyx record, because, you know, you've got Martin Van Drunen on vocals, and he sounds as old and Danish and pissed off, but he sounds fucking good. Okay, he still sounds fucking good. You know, lyrically, it's great. So he doesn't have a whole lot of lyrics in this record. Like if you listen to like Botox Implosion, there's like 2 or 3 words per line. And it's a really interesting sort of way of writing lyrics, which is one that I really, really like myself. So I've been trying to work on stuff like that because, you know, they're becoming a pretty big influence on me. And I think, honestly, I just think it's the best record that has been out this year. Some people, of course, will, well, what about this record? Well, I don't listen to that. I know someone had said, oh man, Archspire had a better record. I mean, I don't know. I just can't get into that. That's too much for my cerebral cortex to handle. With Asphyx, so all of the tracks really resonated with me and they really sat with me, and I continually go back to it a lot, as well as Cannibal, as well as, you know, Carcass, Torn Arteries. The Gojira I don't go back to near as much, but Asphyx they just put out a better record. And it's just old classic death doom from a long time ago. And it's Martin Van Drunen on vocals. I mean, how do you argue with Martin Van Drunen, really? So, anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. This will be the last video I'll be doing this year. I will be going into next year, obviously a little more organized. Hoping to do some more record reviews for some local bands. I do have that planned. Yeah, so... And side note, Georgie Fisher from Cannibal is putting out a solo record in the new year. And I can't fucking wait for that, because that's going to smoke. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Keep it metal as fuck. And I'll see you later.